Hey guys, back for another video. Today's video is AE86 content. This will be the first video of a series of videos. Currently, it's a bit of a barn find. I'll just quickly take you through on some plans for it, and then we are going to get it rolling back on four wheels because it has a bent strut tower that I need to get straightened. So I'll just quickly touch base on engines. This car was originally going to be built for ADGP, which I don't know, what was that, 7 or 8 years ago or something, I started building this. It was going to be SR20 VE. As you can see, I've just got SR20 DT in it. That will be coming out, and I'm going to be putting a 2JZ non-turbo motor in it. Obviously I'm going to turbo, but just a built non-turbo motor with a reasonable size turbo. I'm not sure, I haven't worked any of that out yet, but I will be aiming for under 1,000 kilos with fuel and water and everything in it, and 500 kilowatts, I think, at the wheels. So I've got a bit to do to get there, and I'm going to be doing all the work on the car, all the fab work, everything. The only thing that I haven't worked out yet is what I'm going to do with the roll cage. I'd like to ideally get a cage kit for it and do it myself, but as I don't have a bender, but no one in Australia that I'm aware of does cage kits, so I may end up getting someone else to do it. I'd rather not, I'd rather do it all myself, but we'll see when we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So yeah, from here, basically the engine will come out and I'm going to put the 2J in it. So I had two options with this car. I was going to put a front sump 2J in it, mount the engine forward, then I would have had to put the radiator in the back, and I could have run any gearbox I wanted to then, basically. But that would also have allowed me to do any competition I probably wanted to do with it. But it will cost probably a lot more to do it that way. And the weight in the car probably wouldn't be ideal for, you know, what I want out of it, which leads us to the second option, which is 2J rear sump, some sort of gearbox. So I haven't entirely worked it out, but I think I'd be going with a TR6060 because they come with a short, like a mid shifter option that you can buy for them. And yeah, I think it's 500mm from the front of the box, like front of the bell housing to the shifter, which would work out in a good position in this car with a mid-mount motor. From there, like I said, get seating position sorted and everything. But yeah, that's future videos. Today's video, I am going to, like I said, be getting it rolling back on its wheels. First part of getting it rolling is sorting out the front suspension. As you can see, I have just got some old S13 coilovers and tacked them onto an I don't know which model it was, just a Corona stub axle. I have already cut and shut some knuckles. There's AE86 knuckles, the same as I run in the Corollas. And same thing with the lower control arm. I've just got a cut and shut and notched lower control arm there. I've just got a K70 rack currently just sitting there. I've got to bolt that in a minute. And then I've just got some lengthened tie rod ends and just stock K70 rack ends. Now these aren't what I run in the Corollas. I run a stock tie rod end and I don't remember the model. Right hand side Cressida rack end. I'll have to look up the model. So this is just to get it rolling, but it will have the same steering essentially as the other car. Coilover, this will be going in the bin, and I'll be putting a set of Shockworks coilovers in it. That's it for the front. Now the rear, very different. Full S13 cradle. Was originally going to run 5 stud hubs, so I could run a 17-inch rim, probably 17 by 10 or something, with a 255, which is why I have such big guards. Now they were rusty anyway, so I was going to cut them out. In hindsight, I probably should have did things differently, as now I'm only going to run 15s, just a 195 50-15 for most of the competitions in Australia. Most of them have tyre rules. There's a couple that don't, so if I do decide to do something else, although the motor position will hinder that choice, but if I do decide to do something else, you can get a 225 45 like in a pretty grippy tyre on a 15-inch rim still. So as you can see, I actually mounted this cradle up really high. I mean, it's probably 40 mil higher than like most people mount IRS in Corollas. It's not an uncommon conversion, but most people, like I've cut the floor out here, like probably raised it that far sort of thing. So most people will just mount it wherever they can get it sort of thing. But I had this on a rotisserie, flipped it upside down, cut a heap out and got the cradle sitting as low as I possibly can, as high as I possibly can this way. So yeah, I'm just going to make up some, I don't have any coilovers for it at the moment, so I'm just going to make up some rods to go in there, yeah, so we can get it rolling and get it moving. So let's jump to that. As you can see, 86 back on the hoist. Actually, I should say on the hoist for the first time ever. Pulled the motor out, just going to bolt the rack down. I had to pull that out because I originally mounted the motor so low that I couldn't get the rack in with the engine in there, so I pulled it out. It was coming out anyway. All right, now some tie rods and rack ends. All right, this part's pretty simple. I've got the rack centered, including the lock spacer. This rack end, you can see I've actually machined a 5mm step in it, so it does use the whole rack. So I'm just going to jump these in. Just got the transmission jack under the rear tyre on this, on the 86. I'm making some temporary coilovers. I just welded a solid piece of rod. So I've just cut that to length, notched this end, and I'm hopefully guess the right height and length. Just going to TIG that in. That one there, I've made it very difficult, and I've also put the wheel with wire hanging out of it on this side, but I might be able to get in there with a TIG, otherwise I'll MIG that top bit. So got a height roughly worked out, which is real low. Chuck some welds on there and up there. So we've got height set now with my temporary coilovers in. So now just to drop it down on the ground and see how low it is. I think it's going to be pretty low looking at the bottom of that tyre, the bottom of the seal panel. Pretty low. Might not look like much yet, but this is progress. This is what progress looks like. It's been sitting in the shed so long, it's exciting to see it back on four wheels. I've got a lot of ideas. From here, basically, I can get a good idea of what I need to sort out for it, what I need to change, and yeah, the direction of everything that I want to go. I've got a lot of parts to find. So the worst part, I think, now about AE86 stuff is, does it still exist? So you're just buying secondhand parts. There is a lot of new parts that you can buy, but I don't know if I want to put them on a drift car and destroy them. So I've got to get another driver's side corner light. I want to get a new full kit. That front bar is not the best, and I also want a full matching kit, so I need a full kit. I'm doing guards myself. Not sure if the wing's going to stay. My idea behind this car is that I really want it to look different, not like every other AE86. So it's going to be, I think I'm going to go wider with it. So probably maybe another 25 mil each side. Yeah, I don't know. I'll work that out once I can get flares and stuff on it. Tail lights. Ideally, I'd want to put red lines on it, but I don't see me putting the money into tail lights just so I can run it against a wall and destroy them. So, but yeah, gives me a good vision, good direction. So from here, yeah, like I said in other videos, lots of fab work. So the front of this, I've just zip tied it all together, just tacked in a radiator support, I guess you'd say, just so I can zip tie all the lights and stuff in position, so I can work out what brackets, bits and pieces I need to make. So I'll make some cardboard templates and go from there, basically on all the brackets. So I've got a busy few weeks coming up. I've got next weekend drift prac at Malala. Also getting my car tuned next week. Can't remember which day. Tuesday. Then after that, we're actually taking both cars to Melbourne for the LZ World Tour at Calder Park on the 21st and 22nd of October. So I applied for a spot to drive originally, but didn't make the cut. So there was a lot of people that wanted to drive that, so everybody applied for it. Unfortunately, I didn't make the cut. But we are still taking both Corollas over for the show and shine. And from there, I've actually got some more cool news on that one. I'll fill everybody in soon on that. Yeah, so that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to stay up to date on the AE86 build, make sure you subscribe, and there's plenty of weekly content coming up. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next video.